has New York City changed for you since September the 11th, 2001?
The way it would change for anybody. That was a breathtakingly depressing time.
What's it like for you as a New Yorker during the last month or so, during the Gulf War? Does one protest?
I don't understand what you mean. Do you want to talk about music or politics?
A bit of both.
Well, I don't want to talk about politics. I'm here to talk about New York City Man, not politics. So this is Gary. Please turn the amp on. Gary.
I'll see if I
Okay, so let me show you what the problem is. No. Go to the top. The top. This is the place where you at night. It's right there. Starting there is the problem.
Really, the long notes. Yeah.
The rhythm makes me crazy. It's so strange. This is the place where she laid her head. She went to bed at night. And this is the place where our children sleep. And he left the room at night. This is the place where she cut her wrist. And I prayed for mine. And I said, You can't not have that. That's too good.
No. It's just when we
That's
did
too
it.
good.
Anyway. But right now, let's just get this.
From the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the place.
I can't hear him. So I'm asking for I couldn't get it. I need more Fernando.
Okay.
Very much.
What time do you listen out for the play?
Yeah, that's good.
This is the place where she lay her head. She went to bed at night. This is the place where our children were conceived. Candles lit the room at night. This is the place where she cut her wrist. That unfaithful night, and I said, and I That seems okay to me. It was a lot of fun to put it together because it's not a greatest hits because I don't have greatest hits to put together, but it's things that I enjoyed having the opportunity to bring the sound up to date on a CD because the vinyl was so much better than all the CDs that have been made, and this was an opportunity to use the latest and greatest technology to make the CD really shine, and I try to make an opera out of it. And it's 2 CDs worth, and it's not in chronological order. It's more thematic and emotional, and contains tracks that I think are really interesting that people may not know about or haven't heard. For instance, Sally Can't Dance, that's on there, is from a 45 that was released.
What, sorry, you sit down.
Why don't you just lock the door?
Just stand outside.
And the other, or
Just stand outside.
stand outside, not allowed, but you can't close the door so it clicks like that in the middle of an answer. Oh,
Did
oh God. So do we have to go over all of that again?
That's fine. Did things surprise you? You know, when you go back and listen to the original sound, you know, in terms of, you know,
Well,
digitally remastering.
You know, we're dealing with the original mixes. And the original tapes all sound really great. It's the CDs that don't sound great. And furthermore, you could make it sound better than the original record because you don't have the constraints that the record had. Records could only get a certain amount of volume, a certain amount of bass because of the grooves together. After 18 minutes, the needle skips. On a CD, you don't have to worry about something like that. But you need, not to sound pretentious, you need the artist there to shepherd it home and spend the time to make the CD really sound good, and this sounds fantastic.
The record company sometimes excludes the artists.
They, generally speaking, would prefer that the artist isn't there because he might say, well, we could make it sound better than that. But in this case, the record company actually invited me to be the captain of this particular audio ship.
How long did it take?
Oh, a couple of weeks.
Okay. I read the sleeve notes before coming in. I love this line, 3 chords is good enough for me.
Sure. How many do you need? I'm not... Those 3 chords occur in practically every form of folk music in every country you could think of, one way or another, even China. There's something about that chord formation that's very physical and primordial and seems to fit in with our heartbeat and our breathing. There's something so incredibly basic and attractive about it. And anyone can play those 3 chords. I like the democracy of it.
Okay, and
I mean, having said that, anybody can play basketball. You put the ball through a hoop, but then you have Michael Jordan. So within a very simple framework, there's a lot of room to move between the sophisticated and the layman.
And again, in your sleeve notes, you say you could have the IQ of a turtle and play a Lou Reed song.
Or a baby turtle. Anybody can play one of my songs. Anybody. Including people who can't play the guitar or an instrument. You could sit them down in a half hour. You could play. You could play Wild Side in 10 minutes.
Was it difficult to let the record go?
No, because we were at 79 minutes each CD, 79 minutes and X seconds, and that was the barn door, the brick wall through which you could not go. So we had really been scurrying around trying to make things flow really nicely and get as much on there for people as possible. More bang for the buck, we say. And that's what's there, but you know, people have said to me, how come this song's not, how come I Love You, Susanna's not there? How come Magic and Loss, a song called Dream, and how come that's not, how come New Sensations is, blah, 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 blah. Well, and my answer is I would love to do a part 2. Because we couldn't put everything on, but we knew that. So we weren't approaching it, oh my God, how do we get this on? It was approached from the idea of what would make a really great 2 CD set that flowed nicely here, and hopefully someday we'll be asked to do a part 2.
You call the album NYC Man. How crucial to your creativity has New York City been?
100%. The raison d'etre. It's my Okefenokee swamp. It's my World War II.
And specifically on New York City, because I've been several times.
And I think that track sounds so much like the city on a good night. It has this beautiful spread and sparkle to it and swing that I think is so beautiful. And it's funky with these dissonant horns. It's just a very, very beautiful track. And I might say, sounds better than the original because we made the bass part clearer.
How has New York City changed for you since September the 11th, 2001?
The way it would change for anybody. That was a breathtakingly depressing time. On my album called The Raven, there's a track called Fire Music. That sums up how I feel about it far more than I could verbally. So if you really want to know what I think about it, you could listen to The Raven and Fire Music. It's 2 minutes long.
Can I just extend the question in terms of, how would you just, from New York City, I've been several times of late, I've been covering Daniel Libeskind's project in Ground Zero. What's it like for you as a New Yorker there, and indeed the current mood as you perceive it, during the last month or so, during the Gulf War?
Well, none of us are going to leave. We live there. I'm sure particularly people in London can identify with that, with the problems you used to have. And we have our problems.
But can one protest?
Pardon?
Does one protest about what happens in the Gulf War in terms of what happened?
I don't understand what you mean. Do you want to talk about music or politics?
A bit of both.
Well, I don't want to talk about politics. I'm here to talk about New York City Man, not politics.